Hey YouTube, how you going? Just wanted to do another video. If you've just watched my other one, you'll know the Vegan Brothers are back. We're going to be bringing you lots of content in the next couple of days, weeks, months, years, etc. We just kind of fell off the bandwagon a bit there with a few other pieces, things that we were kind of doing, but we're back. We're going to be bringing heaps of content, as I said. The reason for a second video today is I was watching Dr. Michael Greger. For those of you who don't know, he runs a very popular nutritionfacts.org website, puts out heaps of great content on plant-based nutrition and just all these studies that are just amazing with what they show and the powers of eating plants. And last year he did this video called Uprooting the Leading Cause of Disease. It went for an hour. It was a presentation at this conference. And then I've just watched his more recent one where he talks about kind of curing common diseases and that kind of thing. Both the videos are kind of linked, to be honest, because they talk about things like heart disease, type 2 diabetes, cancer, that kind of thing. And obviously, the first video is more about stopping yourself from dying from these diseases, and this video is kind of more about reversing or preventing the disease and that ever occurring or progressing and getting worse and that kind of thing. But I'm not going to kind of talk about all that, kind of thing. I'll let you watch the videos for yourself. But I think the most important thing that came out from this video was towards the end, and it was, why aren't doctors and mainstream media and everyone just shouting this from the rooftops? It's ridiculous how much evidence there is to support this. And in particular, he talked about Dean Ornish, who like 23 years ago, I think it was, proved that you can reverse and stop heart disease. You know what I mean? Like, he did this study and, they calculated out the US government would save something like $1.9 trillion over 10 years if they could get however many number of people it was to adopt a plant-based diet, because it would obviously mean less surgeries, less medications, less healthcare costs, blah, blah, blah. And he introduced this bill into, the parliament over there, to kind of, because he realized that doctors aren't going to promote a plant-based diet unless there's financial compensation. Introduced a bill, but it got killed. Never happened, never came to fruition. And it kind of highlights a sad state of affairs, because these doctors are obviously more concerned about their financial benefits to themselves than the health of their patient. And in the video, Dr. Michael Greger was saying, if you're a cardiologist or something, someone comes to you and, you're consulted about, hey, I've got heart disease, blah, blah, blah. What should I do? And they're like, oh, well, we can do a bypass, put a stent in, whatever the case may be. They're going to tell you to do that, because then that means they're going to do surgery on you, which means that they're going to be paid by the insurance company, the government, etc., to perform that surgery. If you went to them and they said, oh, hey, well, look, you're lucky, we've caught it in time, it's not too bad, you're not like on deathbed right now, so instead of doing this surgery, how about you adopt a vegan diet, and then, you're going to be alright, hopefully over time. It's not going to happen instantly, but, the vegan diet and low fat kind of thing is going to help reverse it, and clear over time, your arteries and everything are going to be cleared, and you're not going to have to take all this medication. They're not going to do that because there's no money in it. And this bill that Dean Ornish tried to get through was going to compensate doctors for kind of giving that nutritional advice that maybe isn't at the moment financially rewarding for them. And I just think it's a sad state of affairs. I mean, you look at same thing with like drug companies. They don't want anything that's going to cure you, because if you only had to take a drug once or one thing once, well, then you'd never have to take it again and just be like a one-off fee. They want that reoccurring income. They want you sucked into the system for your entire life. And Dr. Michael Greger talked about that in relation to heart disease. He said, all the medication that we have does not treat heart disease. It treats the symptoms. It treats what's occurring because of the heart disease. So you've got heart disease, your blood pressure goes up. Take a pill. It'll artificially bring it down. Got high cholesterol? Take a pill. Artificially bring it down. So when you then go for these tests, they go, oh, well, it's good. Your cholesterol's come down, your heart, blood pressure's come down. That's really good. But your heart's still clogged as fuck, and, your heart's still diseased. Your heart's still getting more diseased every day because you haven't changed your diet. You haven't addressed the causes of the problem. And the way Michael kind of described it was, it would be like having an overflowing sink. You know, you fill your sink with water, leave the tap running, and instead of turning the tap off, you know, instead of cutting out the animal products to start reversing the heart disease, or to start, in the case of the tap, turning the tap off to start letting the water drain, instead of doing that, no, you're just continuously mopping. You're just getting more and more paper towel, and you're just mopping up all the water that's on the floor. Just keep going, quick, mop it more. Nah, we need more paper towel. Mop it again, mop it again, mop it again. And then people are like, oh, well, the floor's dry for like 1 second. And then, you know, that's that test. Oh, your blood pressure's low, that's really great. But if you take off the medication, it's going to go, you know, through the roof again. So that's the analogy that he made, and it's so true because, you know, doctors don't want to see you better, man. It's really crazy world. I mean, doctors, in my opinion, should get into the profession because they care about people, and maybe they do, but so many of them just get corrupted by the money and that kind of thing. And it's a sad state of affairs that there even needed to be a bill introduced, even though it didn't pass, to try and reward doctors financially. You know, for something that they should do out of the goodness of their heart, really. You know, if you have, I can't remember the statistics, I think he said it was 500,000 people die of heart disease every year in America or something. You know, it's 500,000 people, 500,000 people. He equated it to 3 jumbo jets crashing every single day. You know, that's the power that doctors have. If they all kind of adopted this, you know, they could cut that rate significantly. But they just don't do it. And just one final point with relation to that, Gregor in the video said, what if we relate it to their family? So you're a doctor, and what would you do if it was your mum, if it was your dad, your brother, your sister, who came to you and had these conditions? And you know from this research, well, some of them don't know because in medical school and shit, they don't really talk about this. They get, you know, kind of flooded with all this shit about drugs and take this, take that kind of thing. But if they do know, what would you say to your mum, your dad, your brother? You know, would you work with them to fix their diet and their lifestyle to reverse these conditions? Or would you just put them on a pill for life? Obviously, the case and what would happen is clear to see. You know, you'd work with them to reverse the condition that they have instead of masking the problems. And then he said, imagine, all right, that's you as one doctor within your immediate family, you know, and imagine if your mum died, for example, it's going to affect, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 immediate family members maybe, you know, depending on how many brothers and sisters, etc. Now, replicate that for the 500,000 people who die every year and the amount of people who are affected by the death of that individual. And then multiply that again by the people who have heart disease and who haven't died yet but take all these pills and shit every single day. And, you know, have the financial burden of that, or even have that kind of mindset, well, fuck, it doesn't matter, you know, I can eat what I want because I'll just keep popping pills. Anyway, check out the video, guys. Let us know your thoughts, comment below, and as I said, the Vegan Brothers are back. Lots of great content coming your way.